Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs Show. Today we are going to be talking NFL Week 3 picks, predictions, mortal locks, all that good stuff. And Sean is back in the studio with us today. Sean,
I'm
how are you
back.
feeling, big dog?
I haven't been here because I have a concussion, but I'm gonna power through it and get
Oh
these
wait, like
picks
you
in.
still have it?
Yeah.
This kid is a fucking soldier. I
All
love
right.
him. Love
And
him.
on that note, by the way, our records over the past 2 weeks. So we want to be as transparent with you guys as possible. Sean has not been on fire as of late, but that is possibly due to the fact that he is concussed and has been concussed for the last 2 weeks while making these picks. So we'll start with Sean. Sean is 0 for 2 on his locks, and he's 2 for 6 overall. So, Sean, is there anything you want to say about your record? And do you feel like you're going to sweep the board this week?
Yeah, I mean, I'm winning every game this week, so
That's all there is to it.
optimism.
All right, so I'll go to Anthony. Anthony is also 0 for 2 on his mortal locks, and he's 5 and 3 overall. So, Anthony, is there anything you want to say about that?
I'm going to stick with the same philosophy this week.
Yeah. And also, by the way, when someone's really cold, that might be like a good thing if you're watching the show, because then just automatically fade that person.
Exactly.
So if Anthony can't hit a bet, then it's almost just as good as if he hits every bet. Jake is 1-1 on his locks and 4-4 overall. Jake, is there anything you want to say about your record?
Started off slow in week 1, picked up steam week 2. Week 3, I'm ready to roll, and I'm not gonna miss a game the rest of the year.
Okay.
Don't hold
I like
me to that, but that's the attitude.
We will hold you to that.
That's the attitude.
That's where you got to be. All right. So I'm 1-1 on my locks, and I'm 5-3 overall as well. I can tell you right now that the amount of data that I analyzed this week so far and will continue to do, every single bet that I'm going to give out on this show today will hit. This is Sean's introduction to Bears fan Sam.
You've not met Bears fans. He's electric.
Gentlemen,
There he is.
Bears fans. I was on mute. Fuck. All right, but I didn't have any volume on. What's going on?
I wore a Jordan jersey for you. It's not a Chicago jersey, but it's Jordan, so you got to respect me for that.
Just making sure he's there. I want to start.
I wore a Jordan.
I respect it, but I just want to start off with what an idiot.
The
The Bengals.
That guy's going to lose a lot of fucking money this weekend. I'll tell you that much right there. What an idiot. The Bears? Are you kidding?
I went on and I logged on and I was like, he's calling me an idiot. You're gonna see on Sunday, and sure enough, you saw.
What is your take on Justin Fields getting the start this week?
I was delighted. I was laying in bed today after class, and looked on Twitter and I saw the notification, and reposted on Instagram automatically.
Obviously.
But I'm really so happy, and I like beyond words. But I got to the point where Matt Nagy has been hated by Chicago fans for probably the last year or so. And I love how he follows up saying Justin Fields is starting with oh yeah, but Dalton's gonna start if he's healthy. Let us enjoy this moment. But I'm truly excited, and I think the world didn't really get a taste of what Justin Fields really had to offer last week, considering he came in the second half or the end of the first half. But I'm also going to be there in person on Sunday to see Justin Fields' first career start.
Bears fan Sam, we are going to need a live report from you at Soldier Field. Or it's in Chicago?
No, it's actually in Cleveland.
Oh, you're going to Cleveland?
I'm heading out to Cleveland. I'm
Nice.
visiting Harry Cole down at John Carroll University. We're heading out there on Sunday.
Sweet.
But yeah, I was thinking about it in the shower in my live report, and because it's gonna be awesome. And I think when you give Justin Fields 4 full quarters, it's gonna be special. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I am too. All right. Well, Bears fan Sam, really quick, what do you think about this week's game? Are you taking the points with the Bears, or are you staying away?
This week 7.5, easy. And I know I see Jake's smile on his face right now. I know he's going to hammer the Browns.
I haven't said anything yet. You just keep going. You keep enjoying your moment.
No, yeah, but I think I'm definitely taking plus 7.5. I think that's a lock, honestly. I mean, coming from me, it's not that much, but the
Hey,
defense.
don't discredit yourself, Bears fan Sam. You came on this show last week and told Jake that the Bears were going to win, and they did, and he called you an
I
idiot.
did. I think I'm what the Bears needed. Regardless of any stats or anything, Justin Fields starting this week is a spark. That's going to be huge. That makes everything totally different because we haven't had something like this in years.
Justin Fields is starting. I also think the Browns are a little overrated. Jarvis is hurt. I don't know if Odell's gonna. I don't know what's going on with him. I honestly like the Bears plus 8 or whatever it was, 8, 7.5. I like the Bears to make it a field goal game. Sam, I gotta bow down to you, buddy. You got me. You got me.
Please do. Bow accepted.
You got me.
All
All
right,
right,
thank you,
boys.
Sam.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. How we going?
What a delightful young man to have on the show.
We're going to pick the games right now, but I just want to say about Bears fan Sam, I fucking love Bears fan Sam.
Great
on the
energy.
show.
I hate the Bears with a strong passion, but Sam makes me love the Bears.
My favorite Bear ever is Devin Hester. Went to my high school.
First game, Washington football team versus the Buffalo Bills. Bills are minus 8.5. The over-under is 45.5.
Josh Allen is regressing. I predicted this, and through 2 games, I am right.
Yeah, you've been hammering that nail for a while, and so far you are correct.
However, I trust Benedict Arnold more than the football team's offense. So I'm conflicted. Can you tell me the spread again?
8.5.
Give me Washington plus 8.5. Chase Young's going to get after it. Heineke looks like it. I don't know if Heineke's good, but he motivates that team. He picks up the energy levels. Look for Terry McLaurin to have a big game. Antonio Gibson. Hopefully they get to at least 20 points. I think they can do that. I don't think the Bills will score more than 28 on that defense. So when you put those two mathematical numbers together, that says the football team will cover 8.5, and that's what I'm rocking with.
Sean.
I have the Bills just because last week watching the football team almost lose to the Giants.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
It was just like a battle of 2 bad teams, and I like Heineke, but I haven't seen enough from him yet, and I think he still needs to learn the offense a bit more. So I just got the Bills just based off experience.
I'm gonna roll with Jake. I'm gonna take the Washington football team at plus 8.5. That defense, I think they can stop Buffalo's high-powered offense. They got guys that can cover Stephon Diggs. They got a line that can stop the run. And like Jake said, Josh Allen hasn't really impressed me. It's sad. I have him as my MVP pick. Gonna roll with Washington plus 8.5.
The under 45.5. The under is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings between the Bills and the football team. And the under is 4-1 in Buffalo's last 5 games as a favorite. Jake's Minnesota Vikings versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is minus 1.5. And the over-under is 55.5, which is, I think, tied for the highest number this week on the totals. So
Purple Pride till I die. We're much better than our 0-2 record suggests. If Dalvin Cook didn't fumble, and then if Greg Joseph, our new kicker, could have hit a 37-yard right down the middle chip shot against the Cardinals, we would be 2-0. We've played the Seahawks each of the last 3 years, I want to say. It's at least 2 years in Seattle. Now we get them at home. First time our beautiful stadium in Minneapolis is going to have fans in it in over a year. I think that'll give the team a lot of juice and energy. Kirk Cousins, average game manager, can't win a big game. He's completing over 70% of his passes, 5 touchdowns, no picks. The team's not 0-2 because of him. It's 0-2 just because of some bad luck. And I don't even want the points. Vikings money line outright. We're beating Seattle on Sunday.
I like it.
We're beating them.
Sean?
I had the Seahawks.
I hate you. I do not like you right now. But go.
I mean, yeah, I just believe in Russ. I don't really know anything about the Vikings except what I just heard from Jake.
Tell
But
you a lot more if you want to, but later.
yeah, that's all I really got. I got the Seahawks.
I'm gonna go with a uncharacteristic pick here. I'm not gonna take either team. I'm gonna take the over at
Oh.
55.5.
Wow,
Both these defenses stink,
that's true.
and both
That's
of
a
these
big
offenses
number.
are unreal. And I'm projecting both teams at least get into the 30s. Vikings, Dalvin Cook, Seahawks can't stop the run. They got, Adam Thielen, and they got Justin Jefferson. Those are two guys that are going to be hard to stop. And then the same thing, Seahawks. Tyler Lockett's been going off. Russ has been throwing the ball over the yard. He's got to get DK going a little bit. But
Yeah, we got to get DK going for my fantasy team.
Tyler Lockett's been balling out for my fantasy team. So as long as Tyler's still getting his targets, I'm happy. Chris Carson too. He hasn't been getting utilized as much, and I think it's because they got to try and keep up with the last two teams they've been playing with and air raid. But yeah, I'm going with the over 55.5.
Jake, I hate to dunk on you because it's been a rough show for you thus far with Bears fans saying coming in with the windmill reverse through the legs.
Hey, I went 3-1 last week, and if you check the transcript, I said Bengals +3, which was a push. But okay, fine. Go ahead.
So the Vikings are 0-6 straight up in their last 6 September games. This is a team that starts slow.
Last year's bullshit. Are you kidding? We had no fans. Okay, fine. Just keep I went.
Or were you the only team that was going through the coronavirus last year? The Steelers played 3 games in 12 days. That's not supposed to happen. So the under is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings between the Vikings and the Seahawks. And the over has hit in each of Minnesota's last 5 games. So there's a lot of conflicting stats for this game. Tough to tell who is who after 2 games. So I'm going to decide between the epitome of average and a top 3 quarterback in the league. And so I'm taking the Seahawks -1.5. I think that's a safe bet. Honestly, and this isn't just like a knock on Jake, I feel like that this spread should be 3.5. I don't really know why it's only 1.5. I think the Seahawks have played better teams and have played better than the Vikings have this year, and the Vikings are 0-2.
It's because it's that close because we're the home team, and if you look back the last few years that we played the Seahawks, they've needed a game-winning drive to beat us, I think, in every game. Yes, they've beaten us, but it's been a nail-biter.
All right, let's go into prime time here. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sean, do you have a question?
Nah, I was playing with the push pin.
Okay, the Rams versus the Buccaneers. Bucks are -1.5. The over-under is 55.5. And just so the viewers are aware, this line opened at Rams -1.5, and the money has shifted it to Bucks -1.5.
Could be an NFC Championship game preview.
Mm-hmm.
2 best teams in the league so far. Tom, dude, 9 touchdowns, 5 last week. They're stacked. This is a big game for Matt Stafford. This might be the biggest game of his career.
This is the biggest game of Matthew Stafford's career.
Like he had a few playoff games, but they never really had a shot. And he's going up against the greatest quarterback ever, the most stacked team in the league, or it's one of the most stacked teams in the league. It could be the most stacked offense. And all of LA is going to be able to see, is this guy going to take us to the promised land, or is he going to get beat by the more established quarterback? I really like the Rams. I love their defense, but give me Tampa -1.5. I just think Tom will find a way to get the job done.
Anthony?
I'm going to go with the Rams here. Somebody's got to catch Tampa off guard. I'm going to diss on Tampa's run game, though. They really haven't had to run the ball. Rams got Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners. Antonio Brown, I assume, is going to be out for the game. It's going to be him on Mike Evans or Chris Godwin the whole game. And then, you're just setting it up to have a receiver beat you or possibly Gronk. But I like the Rams defense a lot. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams plus 1.5.
Who have the Rams played?
They played the Bears and then they played the Colts, and they're undefeated.
Who'd the Bucks play last week?
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I'm gonna go with the Rams.
I like it.
Good
All
insight.
right.
Any reasoning behind it?
Good insight there.
I mean, I just feel like the Bucks have been killing some bad teams, and they're gonna play a good team this week, and hopefully it's gonna like catch them by surprise.
He said hopefully. That doesn't sound like he's confident.
I'm not. I don't like this game.
The over has hit in the last 4 matchups between these two teams.
Yeah.
The over is 6-1 in Tampa's last 7 games in September. This is an impossible game to pick, and this, either way, you could take the Rams +1, and that's probably the smart bet. But at the same time, the Bucks just are the best team in the league, so you don't know. So I'm taking the over 55.5 here. And I'm pretty confident in that. But
Smart bet.
let's talk about MVP real quick, Sean. Sean, if you had to say right now who you think is going to be the MVP this year, who would you say?
Probably Kyler Murray.
I'm going to give Derek Carr some props. He's been leading that team, 2 huge wins.
I think it's going to end up being Lamar because he's on pace for 4,000 passing yards and 1,600 rushing yards. That is impossible.
Let's get into our mortal locks right here. Sean, start us off with your mortal lock.
I have the Steelers killing the Bengals. We're gonna beat the Bengals because the Bengals suck, and it's a divisional game.
Is it in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that, actually.
and it's like 3.5 or something.
I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons +3 against the Giants. I think the Falcons are awful. I think the Giants are even more awful, and I think Atlanta will win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Giants stink. I think that there's potential for them to be worse than any team, depending on Tyrod. If Tyrod's gone for a while, then it's the Texans. And I'll just go into my mortal lock here because I'm picking the same game. I've got the under in the Falcons-Giants game. So the under is 11-1 in the last 12 meetings between the Falcons and the Giants. And the under is 13-2 all time since 1984 between these two teams. And 1984 is when they started keeping track. So throughout history that we have recorded, the over has only hit twice in this matchup between the Falcons and the Giants. And the under is 8-1 in the Giants' last 9 games. They don't score points.
Well, like I said, it's hard the last 2 weeks. Week 1, I picked the Giants at home, +3 against the Denver Broncos. I think they lost by 14. Last week, I picked the Dolphins at home, +3, and they lost 35-0. So this week, I'm going to go the Raiders at home against a hurt Dolphins team at -4, which I don't know how the hell that is the spread.
Yeah.
Because Jacoby Brissett looked god-awful last week. And if the Dolphins find a way to beat the Raiders this week, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I might shave my right eyebrow. But I'm picking the Raiders -4. Derek Carr's looked really good. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to keep up if it becomes a scoring game. Like I said, Jacoby Brissett couldn't move the ball last week when he was in.
Hello, boys. I apologize as I have unfortunately been diagnosed with lockitis. All right, it's a new week. Last week we were bamboozled. We were shell-shocked. We were fooled. But in all fairness, the Saints, I guess, are fraud. Panthers should have never trusted them. Last week was a fluke. You know what's good about last week? It means there's a week after it. And that's this week. Let me tell you about a lock this week. Las Vegas Raiders, -3.5 against the Miami Dolphins. Some unfortunate news just broke. Tua Tagovailoa will be inactive for the game due to a rib injury. Darren Waller might as well book it now. Have 15 targets, probably going to haul in 12 of those for 2 tutties and 160 yards. Run game's going to be going. Defense is going to be locked in. Carl Nassib. Long story short, Vegas Raiders -3.5 against your Dolphins. Lock of the week. Let's get it, boys.
Locksmith is taking the Raiders -3.5. He's with Anthony on that one, so that might be a death sentence. Locksmith is coming off a loss, so if he loses again, we might have to change his name. But the mustache is looking great. But
Shout out Big Sandy.
yeah, shout out Big Sandy, shout out Cam. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you guys can make some money this week and watch some football and enjoy it. Shout out Sean for coming back. Good evening.